Hello everyone, just finished oiling down the Boutell Company Triumph model apple peeler. This particular model came from eBay somewhere in Pennsylvania. Looked like it had been sitting a long time. It had quite a bit of dust on it, a little bit of surface rust. So I went over it with some vegetable oil and cleaned the rust off, and it shined up pretty nicely. I also used the oil to lubricate some of the moving parts. You don't want to use toxic oils on these because it'll come in contact with the food products and spoil the taste of your pie. So let's take a look at this in a little more depth. This one has two spindles, and so what this allows you to do is load one apple on the outer spindle while the inner spindle is being pared and cored. So I'll make a rotation and show you how that works. The paring knife runs a radius around the outside of the apple, and the coring spoon runs around the outside of the spindle that spins around, and that cores the apple. And then at the end of the cycle, you'll see this foot here shove the apple onto the coring spoon. Then the spoon goes vertical and ejects the apple. So that way the operator doesn't have to reach in and get their hands in the dangerous zone. Let's take a look over on this end. At some point somebody's fashioned a hand crank for this. Originally it would have been either a belt drive driven on a line shaft or maybe an electric motor. The handiwork on this hand crank is pretty interesting. Somebody's taken this flat bar stock and split it on the end to fashion a hand crank that goes around the center shaft there. When I received it, it was a little bit too long to be able to operate sitting on a flat base. It would have had to have a riser. So I shortened it, but I retained all the original equipment. This appears to be a broom handle that somebody's fashioned, and it works okay. It's not the most comfortable thing in the world, but we'll use it for now. Take a look at some of these gears here. On this shaft, there's a pair of dogs that rotate around. There's the first one right there and the second one below. And when those get to the bottom of the rotation, they actuate the mechanism that flips the spindles around to the next position. Kind of hard to see from there, but that's what it does. There's a rear set of gears here that runs the paring knife and the ejector foot and also the coring spoon. And finally there's a lower line shaft here that operates the spindles. So at full speed you can see you could run several apples a minute. So let's take a look and see if we can actually peel one. So the apple goes on, and we got our hand crank over here. Turn some gears and see what happens. Boutell Triumph apple peeler.